Hey folks, how's it going? It's been a few days now and I've been sort of enjoying Sino-Alice, so I wanted to dedicate a second video to it to take a bit of a deeper look at it, starting from the resource income and grind and going over unlocks, progression and a few grabs I've got with it. As far as the main story goes, I've managed to complete the entirety of Act 1, starting from the first chapter of each character's line to unlock the classes and spending the mastery books we've been given from the pre-registration rewards to bring them all up to level 4 and unlock their common bonuses. This made early game progression really easy and I've been flying through those stages. In Act 1 you can also get your first set of armor, but it's a lowly B tier 1 boosting fire skills for DPS classes. Some stages in here also have a chance to drop S tier nightmares, but these story summons cannot be evolved. They still do provide a little bit of stats and a few good calls though, like improving the effectiveness of water skills for the bondage or reducing the SP cost of wind skills for the slumber. In Act 2 I've farmed the second armor set, one boosting support skills, and since I'm maining a cleric I've decided to evolve this so to have a bit higher stats. Right now the only other armor available seems to be the one in the medal exchange, but it's 1200 medals for an A tier armor set. That's both out of my budget and competing with SR weapons and another SR nightmare, so I'd rather wait for some event that has armor pieces as a reward. As far as difficulty goes, Act 1 has been a stroll through a park. The first time I struggled a bit has been in the last stages of Act 2 Chapter 2 and Act 2 Chapter 3, but I was below 50k power back then, so I guess I'm going to have to give them another shot soon. One thing that's been preventing me from moving forward is the fact that I'm only using 16 out of 20 weapons and a 227 cost out of 270. I would need more weapons, but I'd need to roll the gacha for those, and there's a near banner coming on the 16th for which I'm currently saving everything. And speaking of crystals, let's see how many a free-to-play player can expect to get. The standard daily rewards come in with 5 crystals and 20k gold, which are extremely welcome. Even after the nice injection that was the pre-registration rewards, evolving 3 weapons to L rarity and upgrading the rest has drained me dry. The running start bonus is also a real nice sight, coming in with a total of 240 crystals and an SR spear over the course of 10 days. One of the same spears was also part of the pre-registration rewards, so this would be just a level cap increase for it. Still very nice to see for all those people who plan to main Paladin. Other daily sources of crystals are going to be the 10 from your daily missions and 5 more as daily trade for friend medals. 15 crystals a day for about 450 crystals a month seem fairly generous. The rest will have to come from events, main story progression, general account progression and repeating milestones, which are a bit hard to add up since I don't know if there's going to be a fixed schedule for events and collabs, nor how hard account progression missions are going to become. Considering I spent a fair share on crystals for rolling and refilling stamina and yet I'm back up to 4200, I'd say that right now the game feels pretty liberal with the rewards and handouts, but I'll have to see if and how things change as the game progresses. As for spending crystals, one real handy purchase has been the Vanguard or Rearguard weapon set from the Crystal Shop. These packs come with an SR weapon and a set of really useful S weapons. The 150 crystal price is also fairly cheap and they will fill your grid nicely. You can buy up to 5 packs each to fully limit break the included weapons. It'll come down to a grand total of 750 crystals. I've only bought one each and I'm waiting to see what I pull from the near banner before deciding whether to buy the rest, but I most probably will. Despite being only a week in, we've already received 3 events, each with different completion paths. Shattered Memories is a gathering event. You can farm it constantly for medals and later on trade these medals for items. The shop includes an S nightmare, crystals, weapon and armor evolving materials, as well as plenty of gold. The second event, Incarnation of Envy, is an encounter event coming in with 10 stages, each requiring more and more power, up to 50k for stage 9 and 55k for stage 10. Each stage can be repeated a number of times for crystals, skill level up materials and mastery books, but once you're done with them, you move on to the next one. This event also comes with a community designed S nightmare. Both the Shattered Memories and the Incarnation of Envy nightmares can be evolved to SR rarity, too bad the materials required to do so are expensive as hell. The third one is a Conquest event, only available for a short period of time and coming in with quite the hard boss for this early in the game. Stage 1 alone feels like it requires above 60k or 70k power to complete, and it only has a 1% chance to drop the event's SR summon. On the bright side, being this hard is forcing people to play 5-man co-op runs, and it kind of feels like a standard MMO, which is fun. On the shop side though, the charm medals seem to be a bit scarce now. You get them from uncapping weapons and as guild battle rewards, but in D tier that's only like 13 per day. The best use for this is probably going to be buying SR weapons, which come in at 500 medals apiece. There are a couple of cheap items in here, like the Dragon Puppet and the Shell Wings, which can make for decent damage dealing weapons or alright sub weapons to use. Also, this is currently the only shop in the game that has the uncapped materials for the Nightmares, and these two are quite expensive. Evolving an S Nightmare is going to set you back almost as much as buying a new SR weapon. Hopefully, once the guild ranks settle down, the daily income for the charm medals is going to be a bit higher. Now, just a couple of tips before closing. If you're looking to improve your power but are unsure about what to level up first, you can add on to the codex and order its entries by highest power. This will show you the weapons and nightmares that can get the highest stats. I use this to pick which nightmares to farm from the story and level up a bit before they'll eventually be replaced by SR ones. Evolving a weapon only requires that weapon to be at max level for its 0-star uncap, 60 for SRs, 50 for Ss. Once evolved, its level will reset and any experience materials used to get it above the 0-star cap will be wasted. The mastery that you need to level up your classes is directly linked to the SP cost of your weapons, so playing manually and spamming skills is going to allow you to level up much faster. I've said it before, but I'll say it again, leveling up all the classes for the common bonuses is a pretty big power increase. I've leveled up everything to 4 before maxing my main and moved on to level every class to 8 afterwards. The next step would be bringing them all up to 10, but I'll wait for the near collab so I might get 2 or 3 new classes to level up first. Alright, that's about it for now. I've got to say that the increase in difficulty was nice. Things don't really feel unfair, and again, it's quite fun to play with real people. The only gripe I had with it is the schedule of it all. The stages you farm weapon XP in are only live for 30 minutes and then go down for a period that goes from 3 to 8 hours. The same goes for the Conquest event, and that is also true for the guild fights. It feels like it's the game itself that dictates what you've got to farm for and when to do it. Missing a 30-minute window also means losing up on quite a lot of weapon experience and thus slowing down your progression. Not to mention, missing a PvP fight can potentially hurt the entire guild, other than of course costing you charm medals. While it's true that it's only a 20-minute thing each day and you can easily plan for it, it also means that you need to be scheduling your day around it, and I'm not too sure if I'm comfortable with it. Granblue is also fairly demanding when it comes to time investment, especially during guild wars, but that's a 16 hours window during which you're free to do whatever, and usually you're fine as long as you hit your crew's minimum honor requirements. You could bring up this strike time as an argument, but that is more of a convenience thing and there is no content that is locked behind it. It's just a minor gripe, I'm still going to keep playing for the story and characters. I've seen that there's a lot of collabs coming out as well and I'm looking forward to them as well as the new characters. Apparently we're getting the Little Mermaid story unlocked in chapter 2 soon. That's really all for now. Thank you all for watching and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. See you all soon. Ciao!